What's up, dudes and dudes, the internet? My name's Seth, and we are back here with some more Trove. Today we're going to be talking about advanced recipes. While most of you actually do know how to attain these already, a lot of people actually don't. So advanced recipes are going to end up giving you frameworks. If you don't know what frameworks are, refer to some of my other videos that I already have in the description. But there's going to be these advanced frameworks that you can end up getting for the Forbidden Spires. These are exclusive to the Forbidden Spires, but I'm really excited for when they end up adding more of these to the game for the other biomes and stuff like that, right? So I'll explain how we end up actually getting them in a minute, because I just want to kind of show you, like, these are just going to be very standard affair. These are pre-built items. A lot of these we actually did use in Team Pixel. I'm going to show you in 2 seconds what the Palace Tower actually looks like, because they're great. They're very convenient, very easy to use, and you just get to throw down an entire build in 2 seconds that otherwise would have taken you a very long time to actually end up making, right? So this is the Palace Tower right here. Doesn't come with the portals, does come with the staircase that's up in the front right here, and it's pretty much just the build, and it's empty, right? And the important thing to note too is that frameworks are actually unique in that because they were actually something that was developed in a different program. I'm pretty sure it was actually developed in the MetaForge to make these pre-builds, kind of the same as how you actually design dungeons for this game, right? But there is a whole lot of different block color variation to frameworks that you can't actually access if you're just using the color selector when you're just building yourself and stuff like that, right? So you can kind of see, like, even on this pole right here, see how the red kind of starts slowly shaping up to being a darker red up at the top, and it's a lighter red at the bottom? A lot of those shades are actually not possible to end up getting. So anyways, what we're going to end up doing is going into U6, because that's going to spawn with the biggest Forbidden Spires. I don't know whether or not it's still a glitch where the Forbidden Spires can spawn in every generation world, because it's supposed to only spawn in U6 and higher. But as you're out in this world, you're going to be exploring like crazy, looking for recipe dungeons. What else? And recipe dungeons, while they are also going to end up spawning just normal recipes for the Forbidden Spires prop items, which is just like items that you end up throwing down for your builds and stuff like that, right? This is the 3-star dungeon that we built Team Pixel after, by the way. Doesn't it look familiar? When you can end up actually finding one of these recipe dungeons, I don't know whether I will actually. Oh, we got one right over there. You can very rarely get a lucky chance of having an advanced recipe end up dropping from the dungeon. Now, it's important to note that, thankfully, because the tethering system has been removed, it's great to grind this with people. Grind it with your friends. Now, the way that Trove works, if you've never checked out my beginner tutorial videos for the game, is Trove can only drop items for up to 8 people. If you have a 9th person with you, it's going to randomly choose one of those people that's not going to end up actually getting loot, while 8 of them are. So I would recommend that if you're grinding recipe dungeons and stuff and you're just going for the advanced recipes, have a group of 8 people if possible. You could just go ahead and have more, honestly speaking, and just either have everybody pooling all the advanced recipes to one person, or maybe you just want to end up going for them yourselves, right? So what you're going to end up doing is just complete the dungeon, and when you end up destroying this chest, we just got a normal recipe right there, but there's a very rare chance of actually getting an advanced recipe. Now, I'm going to also have another video come out very soon that's going to be a flux farming tutorial video, because these are actually not too bad as far as a starting player trying to grind these out for flux. As you can see, they're 5,950 and up, and that kind of seems to be their average price. It's already been a couple weeks since this update has hit, and they seem to be averaging out at like 6K and up. And even then, if somebody, like, you know, doesn't have all of the recipes, goes and buys all of these, that means that the shop price is going to end up spiking up a little bit, right? So it's definitely something worth investing your time in. And most of all, it's just really cool. The devs have confirmed that they are going to end up adding more recipe, like more advanced recipes to the other biomes with time. And my good friend Stratos actually data mined a lot of the game to find that there are like so many frameworks in this game, dude, and a lot of them are actually dungeons that are already in the game. So we already took a quick little peek, and there's like one of the Undead Crypt dungeons. So that, of course, is going to end up being an advanced recipe that you're going to get out of the Undead biome. This dungeon right behind us, that's the lamp, that is going to end up being a framework as well. Now, that said, I don't think that the framework is going to, like, before you get too excited, the framework itself is going to end up spawning something similar to the dungeon, but it's not going to end up spawning enemies or anything like that in a club world by any means. And depending on the type of framework, you can actually use them on your cornerstone. So let me actually take a quick little peek. Oh, I don't even have any of the new workbenches and stuff. Well, what can I end up doing? I think I can end up just grabbing this workbench. So I know that the store frameworks, for example, these, it specifically says, can be placed in a cornerstone or a club world. So naturally, I would assume that any of the other frameworks can end up going on your cornerstone as well. So you can use those as very easy ways to end up building a quick cornerstone without having to build it all block by block. And potentially this means that in the future, maybe we could end up having a system implemented, where we would be able to build something, grab a recipe or blueprint from it, and then share that with other players, right? Or something to that effect. Now, what I was trying to say about the dungeons themselves is I'm expecting that the framework is going to kind of be a tweak or a change from the actual dungeon itself. Like this one right here, I'm pretty confident the framework is just going to spawn this platform and then the lantern up top there. I don't think that it's going to end up spawning any of the like underground area and stuff like that. Well, is there even an underground area in this dungeon? No, there isn't. But my point being, one of the other dungeons is like a coin, and that one does actually go underground. I don't think that the framework is going to do that. I think the framework is just going to have the coin. Now, again, there's going to be frameworks for all the different biomes, and they're kind of variations of the dungeons. But most of all, I'm really hoping there's a 3-star dungeon that you can find in the Forbidden Spires that's a giant dragon floating in the sky. I want that as a framework. Please give that to me as a framework. But in any case, folks, that's it. I just wanted to do a quick little video explaining not only the advanced recipes, but also talking in more detail about just how cool the system is and what's going to actually end up happening in the future, so that this video ends up covering that future content so that I don't necessarily have to revisit and talk about all this stuff again. Of course, I'll end up making a video talking about like all of the frameworks when we end up getting all the new ones added to the game. But until then, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Very much appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share, favorite, and subscribe for more daily content. That's also going to build up loyalty points to my merch store. Links are in the description for that, where you can buy this shirt and a bunch of other stuff for the holidays. And for the fans that want to go the extra mile, you can actually donate to me for absolutely free with Gawkbox. Links are in the description explaining that, as well as linking to the appropriate website. Sign on and stay epic, everybody.